Hey everyone, we've got a new Player of the Week selection on eFootball. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click the description, there'll be a link to take you straight to them. Let's have a look at which players you've got this week. We don't have any 4 stars this week, so start off here with our lowest rated, Yuri. Left back, and I'll get to the point, he's too slow. 80 speed is dodgy for a left back, especially a 5-star left back. Acceleration is fine. Down here, he's alright with his physical balance and stamina. They're all fine. Defensively, he's okay. Down the left though, ball control's alright at 80. That's fine. But dribbling and tight possession, that's nasty. He's going to be awkward on the ball. Anytime you start trying to dribble with this guy at all, even a couple of strides, he's going to feel a little bit awkward, a little bit heavy, especially with that low speed. His low and lofted pass are okay. We look at skills, got a bunch of shooting skills, and then really defensively he's just got interception. That's about it. So he's got the most important one defensively, but yeah, I to be honest, for the most part, this guy is actually pretty solid. I don't think there are many weaknesses. I just think on the ball he's going to be pretty frustrating with the dribbling and tight possession being low and the speed only being 80. And defensively as well, especially when you come up against pacey wingers, you're going to get found out with 80 speed. So there's a lot about this guy that's actually pretty solid, but awkward on the ball. Speed 80 is just not good enough for me, so I wouldn't want to risk this guy. So it's not a good card in my opinion. Then we have a booster Jorginho. I'll hit the boost immediately. So as you see there, defensive awareness and tackling, and speed, stamina. They'll go up by 3 when he's on A form, as he is this week. They'll go up by 1 when he's on B form. So he's a box-to-box when normally he is an orchestrator. Comparing him to his base card, he's a bit better on the ball. Defensively is a bit better. But there's not a huge difference really. Physical contact had a bit of a boost as well. Looking at his skills, I think the only one they've added is sliding tackle. I think they've taken captaincy away. Soul control, one-touch passing, through passing, weighted, pinpoint, low lofted. He's got really nice passing. Defensively, just interception, sliding tackle. So, yeah, he's got a lot of qualities for a box-to-box. Technically, he's very strong. Defensively, he's pretty strong as well. Very strong. Slow, though. Slow. That's the big problem with Jorginho. He does have pretty decent stamina. That's with the boost. If you don't have the boost active, 84 is not so great for a box-to-box. So, athletically he's a bit on the weak side, slow. Physical is okay. Balance is kind of okay, but not brilliant. Attacking awareness as well. If this is a box-to-box midfielder, attacking awareness 68, that's dodgy. Decent game plan boost, he will hit 70 there, but that's not great for attacking awareness. So there are some concerns with this guy. Ultimately, he's got a lot of qualities. He's one of these players who's very good technically, but athletically he's a bit weak. That's where the card's a bit of a letdown. So there are weaknesses there. It depends how you use him. If you use him as a defensive box-to-box, especially if you put defensive instruction on him, if you can do that. Obviously on mobile, I don't think you can, but he's got defensive qualities there. He could play quite well as a kind of orchestrator, which is what his usual play style is. But like I say, you'd have to put defensive on him, stop him from getting forward too much as the box-to-box. But yeah, as a box-to-box, I think the lack of pace and the attacking when it's being a bit low, I'll question just how effective he's going to be. But certainly there are a lot of qualities there. So if he suits the way you play, if he's one that you want to pick up, if you're a fan of his, you're an Arsenal fan, he could be a decent one to pick up. Just keep an eye on those weaknesses, especially the athletic ones. And our goalkeeper got Bruce Samba. So pretty solid keeper, Samba. For me, it's a decent card. There are qualities there. There's only 2 things to note. Firstly, 85 goalkeeper awareness. I think it's not bad, but it's not great. On a 5-star goalkeeper, I want more awareness than that. I think that's probably the most important attribute in a goalkeeper. So decent, but I don't think I could say this is a good goalkeeper card just for that attribute alone. The only other thing to note, 84 for jumping. We have a player of the week goalkeeper who can jump. Remarkable. So I don't know if that means that Konami have finally sorted out whatever the issue was that was making them give all these goalkeepers terrible jumping in player of the week and player of the month. But for once you have a goalkeeper who can jump. I don't know how many months it's been since we have one in player of the week with jumping in the 80s, but yeah, a goalkeeper who can jump. So yeah, he's decent. He's not an amazing keeper. I think most of us who've been playing the game for a while probably got better options than this guy. He's not going to get into many people's squads, but if you're desperate for a keeper, you want an option in goal, then he's certainly a solid one. But like I say, mainly for the awareness, really, I just don't think he's that great. So decent, but not brilliant. Then we have Lewis Dunk from Brighton. So this is a pretty solid centre-back. Looking at the most important ones down the middle, he's obviously solid there defensively. Down the right, this is the one place he's had a bit of a boost on his base card, really. He's got a bit more pace. It's not a huge boost, but he's at least gone past 70 for speed. On the base card auto allocation, he's in the 60s for both. Physical contact's very high there. He's about 6'3". He's not far off 6'4", so he's quite a tall guy. That should compensate for the jumping. When we look at the skills, he does have aerial superiority. So heading and aerial superiority, man marking, interception. They've added interception. That's a big addition for Lewis Dunk for any centre-back. Crucial skill. So if you like Lewis Dunk, this is a really good version of him for that reason alone. But yeah, man marking, interception, blocker, captaincy and fighting spirit. He's only really lacking acrobatic clearance and sliding tackle. I don't think those are two of the most important ones, though. He's got the most important ones, in my opinion, for a centre-back. Passing has had a boost from his base card as well. So, yeah, with aerial superiority, about 6'3", 6'4", jumping 76. I think on the whole, he's going to be decent in the air. Not brilliant, but he's going to be okay. Certainly the physical contact is great. And as I say, the pace is a little bit quicker than his base card. And defensively, he's very solid. So, not a top-tier centre-back by any means. And I think the pace will be the biggest factor in whether he's for you. Because if you play a high defensive line, or if you're not entirely comfortable with dealing with through balls in behind your defence, you're going to notice that lack of pace. But if that's not the case, you play a low defensive line, you're not too worried about the pace of your centre-back. So I think there's a pretty solid centre-back guard. And he's a build-up as well, so he's not going to go straying too far out of position. So, yeah, the pace might not be too much of an issue. If it is, that will concern you. But if it's not, then I think this is a good, solid centre-back. Then we have Marco Asensio from PSG. So this is one of these cards where I just don't know how much point there is in this card over his base card. If you look at his base card on the auto allocation, it's better on the ball. I've had a look at the previous feature versions of Asensio, and I'm pretty sure from what I've seen, this is the worst version on the ball, and even his base card's better on the ball. And for a wide midfielder or attacking midfielder, that's strange to me. Elsewhere, not a lot of difference from his base card, except that he's got a more end product with his passing and his finishing have been boosted. That's the one area where he's got an advantage over the base card. So there are qualities here. He's got decent pace. Creative playmaker. He's not going to be too aggressive with his forward running. Playing it through the centre as a centre mid or attacking mid, in my opinion, low pass is too low. I would not play him through the middle. I think he's a wide midfielder. He's a left footer, but if you play him on the left, he doesn't have pinpoint crossing. He should have a decent enough cross on him. He's got 84 lofted pass, 83 curl, 86 kicking power. He should be able to cross, but without pinpoint crossing, I don't know how great his crossing will be. He's not exactly got electric pace, so I'm not sure he's best on the left. He could certainly get away with that, but I think on the right, cutting inside onto his left foot might be where he's best. If we have a look at his skills, soul control is nice, long range curler, rising shot, long range shooting, through passing, outside curler. So you could play him left or right, but I think cutting in from the right hand side onto his left foot, long range curler, long range shooting. He does have 83 for finishing, 83 for curl, so long range curler and long range shooting. I think he should be pretty good at shooting. This is where he gets a bit odd though. Sure, he might have purveyed these kind of abilities in his last appearance at PSG, so I'm not going to criticise the fact they're giving him these skills, but for a player like Asensio, track back, interception, blocker, is there really any point? I don't know. He's already a super sub. I wonder with this guy, is the best way to use him if you're winning in the second half, you're a goal up, you're trying to protect your lead, and your winger's tired. If you put this guy on the wing, maybe it'll help because he's got that ability going forward. He's got the end product, but those defensive scores might just help with defending, I guess. Might be a slightly different option as a super sub. The stamina isn't great, so I think super sub might be the best way to use him. He will get very tired very quickly if you start him. But yeah, like I say, one of these ones where he's got a bit of a boost in his end product from his base card. Bizarrely, they've made him worse on the ball than pretty much any version of him that there's been. But he does have end product. He could work on the right or the left, and those defensive skills as a super sub could make him a slightly different option coming off the bench. But yeah, slightly strange one. Could be a useful one. Yeah, just not really sure about myself, but I think it's something a little bit different, I guess. Garnacho. So I'll get to the point on this. It's very similar to the previous player of the week, Garnacho, from when he scored the overhead kick at Everton. The attributes really similar, not much has changed from that version. It's a whole player again. The one key change from previous versions of Garnacho is you can play this guy as a right midfielder, but I don't see the point. He's right-footed, and when you look at the end product here, he's got some dribbly stuff, but it's essentially long range curler and acrobatic finishing. Acrobatic finishing won't really come into the equation too often, but long range curler is the key one. You play him on the left, the pace he's got, great dribbling, 83 finishing. Long range curler is the one real strength he's got in terms of end product. I think wide left is definitely where you're going to want to play him to get the most out of him. He's not, I would say he's not quite as good as the previous one from the Everton match where he scored the overhead, but it's pretty similar. Certainly it's an upgrade on his base card, no question on that. So yeah, if you're a Man U fan, if you like Garnacho, you want a good version of him. If you didn't get the previous Player of the Week one that was really good, I think this one will be a really nice one for you to pick up. Like I say, as a left midfielder, that crazy pace, but good balance, really good dribbling, getting up and down the left flank. As a whole player, he's going to get into good positions. He's going to run into spaces. And as I mentioned with the finishing, long range curler, could have a very effective long range curler cutting in onto his right foot. So yeah, if he suits the way you play as a wide left midfielder, I think this could be a very, very useful card. And now we have another Matheus Cunha. We've had one recently in Player of the Week. This one is, I think, slightly better. It's a booster as well. We'll hit the boost. So as you see there, boost to his speed, balance, and then dribbling and tight possession. The other key difference from the previous version of Cunha in Player of the Week recently is that this is an attacking midfielder. All the other positions are the same, but this guy can now play attacking midfield, and I think that's pretty handy. He's a whole player. It's a nice playing style for an attacking mid or as an SS. Looking at the qualities he's got, he's obviously pretty quick, decent balance. On the ball, he's very nice. Dribbling at 95 when he's on A form. Passing as an attacking midfielder, I personally would say that's a bit low. I think as an SS though, that's decent. Finishing 84, attacking awareness is good, 83. That combines very well with the whole player playing style. We look at the skills, bit of dribbly stuff, long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot. So he's got lots of end product with the shooting. And he's got through passing and pinpoint crossing. I don't think pinpoint crossing is going to come into the equation because his lofted pass is terrible. But certainly through passing will help with 81 pass. As I say, attacking midfielder with 81 low pass and no one-touch pass skill, I don't fancy that. I think this guy, for me, is best as an SS with the whole player playing style. Pace, good on the ball, passing and finishing. Could be a very effective card. So yeah, like I say, similar to the previous version of Cunha, a whole player again. But this guy can play attacking mid if you want to play him there. And certainly compared to the base card of Cunha in previous versions that are all, I think they're all deep lying forward. Especially with this one being a whole player, I think this is a very nice version of him. It looks like a very useful card. And then we have Dimarco. So this Dimarco card, it's very similar to a previous version that we had in Player of the Week, which was also a cross specialist. He's normally a fullback finisher. Cross specialist can be a very nice play style if you like your winger to be a kind of old school winger, like a left footer on the left wing, whipping crosses in. A cross specialist should always hug that touchline and stay out wide and get into good positions to put a cross in. And he's certainly good at crossing. Lofted pass 89, curl 85, kicking power 86. He's going to have a fantastic cross on him when you consider he's got pinpoint crossing. He's going to have really, really, really top crossing. He's got a bunch of shooting skills. Down the bottom there, you see he's got interception and acrobatic clearance, so you can play him still as a left back. Defensively, he's not brilliant, but he could be worse. He's competent defensively. He's got good pace. The balance is decent. Stamina's not brilliant. Wherever you play him, keep an eye on the stamina because he's going to get tired. It's one of these ones where I don't really get that. You get his base card, auto allocate the points in his base card. You get 85 stamina. I don't know why they'd make any of the attributes worse on a featured card. Likewise, the balance is a bit lower than his base card. So there's kind of some areas where he's actually weaker than the base card, and that's before you factor in the previous featured versions. I've had a couple of featured versions of him. I've trained them, one as a left back, one as a left winger. The left back is much better defensively than this. The left winger is much better on the ball than this. So there are a bunch of areas where you look at it, and depending on whether you've got previous versions, feature versions, or even the base card, you might look at this and think it's a bit pointless in some areas. The real strength, though, he's got decent pace, but the crossing is really outstanding. So yeah, is that enough to make him a better option than any previous version of him that you might have, along with the playstyle cross specialist? It might be, but ultimately for me, the fact that on any other version of Dimarco you can make him better in one or more other areas, it's a largely pointless card. It could be one that you quite like if you don't have a version of him, especially if you really want that cross specialist play style and you just want to cross the ball, but ultimately there are too many areas where you can make him better with previous versions of him, so it's a slightly disappointing card for me. This card's not disappointing. So we've had previous versions of Foden that go as high as this guy at 94 and 1 or 2 higher. This is a booster as well, though. He hit that boost, jumps up to 95. As you can see, great on the ball. Attacking awareness is good. Decent passing, depending where you play him. Finishing is great at 88. With a good game plan boost, that's going to hit 90 for finishing. Speed's reasonable. Acceleration is great. Balance is good. So you compare this to previous versions of Foden, you know, the featured ones and Player of the Week and whatever, it's not too dissimilar. They're mostly pretty similar with the attributes. This is a whole player, though. It's a very nice playing style. As a left midfielder, centre midfielder, attacking midfielder, or SS, that will be active. If you play him as a wide forward, left or right, it won't be an active play style. I think with Phil Foden, being a left footer, not having pinpoint crossing, is lofted past 77, I don't think you want to play him on the left. I don't think that's where he's most effective. Centre midfield, he can't defend at all. I wouldn't play him there. And I think with low pass at 80, I don't think that's good enough. Like when we were looking at Cunha just now, I don't think that's high enough for an attacking midfielder. But I think this guy, just off the attack in the centre as an SS, or if you played him on the right as a wide forward, or even as a wide SS on the right, I think that's where he's going to be best. Getting into good positions, cutting in onto his left foot, or through the middle on his left foot, on either foot. Although he does not have a right foot. I don't think he has outside curler. No, he doesn't. So, yeah, through the middle as an SS or wide right forward, I think is where he's best. They've given him heading because he scored a header, but he's a small guy. He's not going to win many headers. But if you get a free header with him, he's not being challenged by a defender. Sure, his heading will be decent. 75 heading, yeah, not brilliant, but decent. The heading skill will help, but first time shot, one touch pass, through passing, those are the key ones. Weighted and low lofted pass. He's going to have really nice... Some pretty nice passing, only 80 for low pass though. But first time shot and 88 for finishing, he's going to have a very, very good finish on him. So, like I say, just off the attack with good attacking awareness, that great finishing, he's going to be a pretty potent player with the whole player playing style. I think he could be a very effective one. Like I say, with that only 80 for low pass, he does have good passing skills, but his passing's not brilliant. I wouldn't play him attacking mid, but I think he's certainly good enough as an SS or a wide forward on the right, cutting into the area and getting into shooting positions. I think this is a really nice version of Foden. He's going to feel very nice on the ball, low centre of gravity, responsive with the acceleration and balance, great on the ball, the finishing. Yeah, very effective version of Foden. I'll be very happy if I get this one. Kvaratskhelia. So again, we've had a couple of versions of Kvaratskhelia before that are a bit better than this. And he's not a huge upgrade on his base card. He's a bit quicker. Based on the auto allocation of his base card, his balance and stamina are slightly worse. Good on the ball. He's got a boost there from his base card, and certainly with his finishing as well. That's a few higher than the base card. So yeah, it's a good version of Kvaratskhelia. It's not an amazing one. It's not too far removed from the base card. There have been one or two better versions of him from previous packs, an Italian League pack, and I think there's one of those Showtime boxes as well. They have given him long range shooting. So he's got long range curler, dipping shot, long range shooting, acrobatic finishing. He's got a bit of end product there with his finishing. Obviously, he's got soul control and some nice dribbly stuff for the dribblers. That's what he wants to do. He is a dribbler. He's got very good pace. The balance is decent. Dribbling 91. He's going to be great on the ball. Good fun. If you like dribbling, doing your skill moves, he's going to be a really fun one to use. If you've got a previous featured version of him, you might not be too excited about this version because it's not too much different. Like I said, there's been one or two better ones. There's been a bunch around about the same. He's not a massive upgrade on the base card, so... If you don't have too many coins, you've got his base card. I don't think it's really worth getting too excited about him. But if you've got the coins or if you get it from your free spin, yeah, like I say, he's good at what he's good at. And that's obvious. It's the dribbling. And he's got a bit of finishing there with the 81 finishing and with the shooting skills. So you know what you get with Kvaratskhelia. And if that's something you want, this is a good version of him. There have been better. It's nothing to get too excited about. But if you want a version of him and you get him, it's a good card. And then we finish with Lewandowski. So... another one where it's just not really much of an upgrade on his base card, unfortunately. The acceleration is slightly worse than the base card. The balance is 6 worse than the base card. The base card, if you do auto allocation. A bit better with his offensive awareness, his finishing. Not a lot of difference really. On the whole, it's just another version of Lewandowski. again, like I'm saying with Kvaratskhelia, if you don't have that many coins, if you've got a base card version of Lewandowski, it's not worth going in for him because you're not really getting much that you don't really have. The passing's been boosted a bit, actually, just noticed that. So they're giving his passing a bit of a boost, but yeah, on the whole, it's pretty much what you'd expect from Lewandowski. It's not the best version we've had. We've had a bunch of better versions before. As he gets older now, I see he's 35 now. You know, you're not going to get that many versions of Lewandowski that are better than previous versions. But yeah, I would say as well, goal poacher, slow. That's not a good combination. Goal poachers play on the shoulder of the last defender. They want to get him behind the defence. With a lack of pace, that's going to hinder you. So I think it's going to be frustrating with the play style he's got. But he does have the qualities. You can see them there. The awareness and the finishing, decent in the air as well. Ball control's pretty tidy. That's had a bit of a boost. So yeah, is it a good card? Yes. Is it going to be effective depending on the way you use a goal poacher? Yes. Is it a good version of Lewandowski compared to previous ones? Not particularly, no. So again, not one to get too excited about unless you don't have any version of him and you end up spinning him from your free spin. It's a good striker, but there are issues there, like I say, with the pace, and it's not that great compared to previous versions of him. So for me, not one to get excited about. So yeah, there you go. There are some decent ones there. I think with a lot of them, it depends on what other versions of the player you already have, because if you've got a version of some of these players already, they might not really have much to offer you. But there are some good cards there. Lever and Kvaratskhelia, obviously good cards. Probably nothing's a good one. Garnacho, if you like Garnacho, that's a very good version of him. Cunha looks very nice. Dunks a solid centre back. Yeah, some decent ones in there. I don't think it's the most exciting selection in the world, but certainly an upgrade on last week's, which wasn't particularly great. So there you go. Hopefully you found that useful. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you soon.